have with us today, you are very lucky children, very, very lucky. You have musicians come from the Akademia Ensemble from France and from the Neemrana Foundation. So we are very, very privileged to have them amongst us.
Nous allons chanter des pièces de l'époque de la Renaissance française.
Okay. I'm sure you understood this. Ce sont des étudiants de français, mais bon, ils n'ont pas un niveau. Ça, vous avez compris?
Cette période arrive après la fin du Moyen-Âge. On est en 1450.
1450. We are 1450.
L'idée de l'époque de la Renaissance en musique, c'est d'essayer de simplifier la musique pour trouver des mélodies très simples et très jolies.
The idea of Renaissance. I'm sure you will understand it. It's better if I don't translate because you should understand. But for the teachers, oh, okay. I'm so sorry.
Yes,
this is music, Renaissance music, where they try to simplify the melodies. So it dates back to 1450.
Okay. La grande différence avec le Moyen-Âge, c'est qu'on ne va plus composer la musique de façon linéaire, mais harmonique.
Okay, so the music is not composed in a linear manner, but in a harmonic manner.
Voilà. Et dans la littérature, on recherche tout ce qui touche l'être, la pensée, à comparer avec la nature.
Okay. The literature of the time is more concerned about being, that is self, and nature.
Le deuxième chant est une pavane. La pavane est une danse très simple que l'on dansait à la Renaissance. On voulait simplifier les choses pour que le maximum de personnes puissent le faire. Donc c'est une danse très simple où il suffisait d'avancer les pas, de reculer et d'avancer.
Okay, we're going to sing now the pavan, which is also a dance form, a very simple dance form with very small steps, very simply.
Yes.
And we sing along with it.
That's all. Down, 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 down.
It's the same thing also.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Alors, vous pouvez s'élancer beaucoup de personnes en même temps.
Okay. So it can be danced as in couples or in a group, right?
That's all, very good. Clément Jeanlequin.
Clément
Jeanlequin
Jeanlequin.
était un grand compositeur qui a écrit beaucoup de musique pour la Renaissance.
A very great composer who wrote a lot of music for the Renaissance.
Dans ce chant, les chanteurs doivent imiter un peu le son des oiseaux de différents oiseaux.
Okay, the singers in this kind of song have to imitate the sounds of a bird.
Actually, a lot of people in France start really training in singing quite late, after teenage. Basically.
What is the time when the voice?
Because the voice crosses puberty and because it develops later.
Yeah.
So once you attain the level of your voice, then only you can start training yourself in a voice type.
Okay.
Because you may start as even your children, you may be told to sing let's say piano. When you grow up, where does your voice reach? And similarly, when you cross 40, that's another stage of your age. You may land up having another voice type.
It's just a song. It was very popular, and it's from the 16th century, the end of the 16th century in France. And this kind of song is just for one voice and one instrument. And this kind of song was very popular at that time, and it was written with poesy. So the text is almost all the time a question about love. It's always the happiness of love or the sadness of love, because it could be really disturbing for us to be in love. So this song particularly is about the happiness about to be in love. much. So as you see, it's very short. And did you understand a little bit? Yes? Okay, cool. Very nice. So maybe because I think you are, because I'm just a singer, so I think you all know how to sing, and I think you can all do what I do. But this, I think you have a lot of questions about it. So let's introduce the archi-lute or the lute. So I let Eric talk with you.
This music style is a French Baroque music. So it was in fact written. You see, we are using this strange thing, which is paper. It's not a music instrument actually, but for us, because we learn, it became a music instrument. So we are using this because some people also used it for some centuries ago. And well, you know what is a score. But so this music was written and even printed. You can buy it already a few centuries ago. So it was during the 17th century in France, in Paris, was printed. And this one, we don't know who wrote it effectively. It was published in a small book with a lot of songs, which were quite popular at the time, but we say the composer was anonymous. Anonym, I don't know in English how you say it. Anonymous means it's not signed, so we don't know exactly who was this guy or this lady who wrote this music. But it was written by someone so long time ago, and we're just reading it, and because we learn how to read. I think some of you are learning music also here. Yeah, so who is learning music here? Yeah, you? You also? Yeah? So perhaps you are learning how to read the score also. Yeah, so you know this question.
I just gave two kind of music paper. The old version, like Eric is playing with the old score, very old, like how it was written at that time, and then mine, which is a new writing. Then you can compare the two kind of writing scores, because it was really easy to print it, to write it at that time. The round thing was very difficult to do. For us, it's just so easy now, but at that time, that was really difficult.
Who know Louis XIV? Louis XIV,
the king
Louis
of France.
14, you hear of it? He was a king in France, quite important for lots of people. And he liked very much the arts, and he was himself playing, he learned to play the guitar. His mother was Spanish, and in fact he preferred to learn the guitar a bit for that reason, because at that time mainly there was less guitar but way more lute, in fact. But he decided to also to favor this guitar at that time. And I will play for you a small piece by Robert Devizet. Robert Devizet was the guitarist and lutenist of the king of that time. So perhaps if you one day you have a chance to come in France, and you can see the Château de Versailles, some heard of it, which is a big castle. You can visit this castle of this king, and you can imagine that the music you will hear now was played there, because the king really you know, there was no CD for sure at that time, no electricity. And so the kings, they have enough money to pay some musicians, and the musician can come to them just to play, to listen to music. musicians are just try to imitate a bit of this rhythm of a language, and that's why you can always listen to well, this kind of rhythm is very specific to French Baroque music. You have to know all the Baroque music, so it's 17th century and beginning of 18th century. We are just before Mozart, and even bit before Johann Sebastian Bach.
So we will sing. I will sing. We will do another one, which would be a little different because it would be quite sad actually. It's on fait qu'un cœur souffre.
Oui.
Qu'un cœur souffre. It means the heart is suffering because, as I told you before, when you're in love, sometimes it's very cool, and sometimes this is not true at all. And then I will just say that because when you're in love, you're so much like you can't do anything about it. It's just it happens, and even whatever who it is, it just happens. So all the kind of small like semitone, you know that when you do tea, just really close, which is for French, it's like it's really something painful. So he's using this kind of notes to make you understand that.
So this is a lute, or even more precisely is a archilute. It was a family of instruments, and the big difference, well, it's work a bit like a guitar, let's say.
Yeah.
But the big difference is that the construction is very round behind and in front. But the principle is exactly the same than a guitar or a sitar or any percussion instrument, is that you saw how I play. You take one string, so the string goes this movement from here to here. And this vibration, this energy that the finger gave to the string is transmitted by this piece of wood here, the bridge. And this starts to vibrate in different directions. And it's just amplified by all the construction of an instrument, like a bit a speaker. You know, a speaker to listen the music like this, sound. It does also make a lot of vibration, and then it's vibrate the air, which is here, and so it goes in your ear to you and the sound. So if you are on the moon, you don't hear anything. Even with big speakers or big lutes. On the moon there is no air, so there is no sound, in fact. On this one, this instrument has 15 strings, which is quite a lot already, it's enough. And as you see, so there is a second length here. These strings are actually longer than these ones. But this instrument is quite small. You can have some bigger archilute, or even a really way bigger kind of flute, which called theorbo, théorbe en français. It's even some French people, they don't know this word because this instrument nowadays are a bit forgotten. So still now, you know, well, I'm not as young as you. I start to be older, When I was in your age, I was studying the guitar, classical guitar. And at that time in France, so I'm speaking of early 80s or end of 70s, was just starting some interest of, wow, what is this very old music and what is this kind of very old instrument we totally forgotten. So when I was young, this kind of flute instrument, almost no one was playing it in France.
Un enfant qui croit vraiment ce que disent les grands, pas savoir à dire merci, merci à qui, à boire, à faire la pluie et le beau temps.
Mesdames et messieurs, de la part de mes professeurs et de mes camarades, je vous remercie d'avoir accepté de visiter notre école et de nous avoir fait vivre quelques moments enrichissants et inoubliables. Merci.